In this tutorial, I'm going to cover how to modify some of the WinStar options. The main place where you go is to the Options pull-down menu. Here you can select your current place, the Swiss ephemeris. If you want to use that, I recommend staying with our Matrix ephemeris, which is more accurate. You can change the style for the glyph for Pluto. You can ask it to prompt for file name, so that when you generate a PDF file, it will prompt you for the file name. And there are some extended options for the extended side. This is the same as either right-clicking here or clicking on the options there. All three menus are exactly the same. I do want to point out that if you're on the extended side of the software, any changes you make are immediate. For instance, if I go to Options, turn on PL Pluto, the Pluto symbol is immediately changed to PL instead of the cup with the ball. If you're on the classic side, any changes you make to the Pluto symbol are not immediate. They will only appear on any new charts you do. For instance, here's a chart that I did back in December 23rd of 2010. It still has the same Pluto symbol. But if I go to Add Form and pick a new chart form, click on OK, this new chart form now has the PL Pluto symbol. Any changes that I make to a chart on the classic side, if I want to have that chart redone, I can either do it the way I've just done it here, or, for instance, for this person, I can go to Edit, Cut, and it'll delete the chart. Then I can go to Edit, Paste. I can then make any changes that I want, including calculation options change. Previously it was Placidus houses. I can change this to Koch houses. Click on OK. The chart is recalculated, and not only is it recalculated, it also has my new settings for the house system and also for the Pluto symbol. The main part of the options that are in on the extended side are whether I want to turn colors on or off. I can change whether I want to see color planet glyphs, color sign glyphs. If I wanted to change to a different aspect set. If I want to turn the center aspects on or off. If I want to see separating and applying aspects. And if I'm looking at a local space wheel somewhere, I can also click here to select my local space cities that are marked on the local space wheel. If I go into WinStar options, these options mostly cover the classic side of the software. Here we have the primary calculation options. This is universal. For instance, if I want to turn on the 2 node, I can click on that, click on OK, and now instead of having the mean node, I now have the 2 node. That's immediately recalculated on the extended side. On the classic side, again, I would have to recalculate the chart. I have options for input. I can change how the name is displayed, how time is entered, if I wanted to assume what side of the meridian I'm on, if I'm in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, what century I'm in. For instance, if I entered in 10 for the year, would it assume that it is 10 BC, it is 1910, or it is 2010? I can change between American and European date formats. I can have it show the longitude and latitude first, and I can also, when I'm doing a new chart, whether it's going to show the current date and time or the chart data for the selected chart. I'll show you how that works. If I pick that, and for instance, if I come here, do a new chart, it actually has the chart data for that particular person already entered. This is helpful if I'm doing transits, progressions, etc., and I want to do it for where the person was born, not for the current location. Go ahead and turn that back off again, since I prefer it to just be displayed the other way. Next, we have current place. It's the same current place window that is over here for the current place, and in other locations in WinStar. We have the colors. This is so that if I want to change the color, for instance, if I don't want Jupiter to be dark blue, he's up here. I can either drag and drop a color there, or I can double click and I can change the gradient here. If I go to aspects, I'm going to do a separate tutorial specifically for this, but suffice to say, this is where you create and modify aspect sets. This is not where you select an aspect set for the classic side of the software. After that, we have Atlas Setup. Most of the time, you will not be playing around with these settings in here at all. Just leave it alone. You have the chart forms. In here, you can either browse through the different menus and change them individually, or you can leave it on the home menu, which is what I recommend. And then you can go to select form, select a particular chart form. You have 3 different selections: printer wheels, screen wheels, and fixed font wheels. Fixed font wheels are the oldest chart wheels we have and the most problematic in WinStar. For most people, I recommend leaving it on printer wheels. The screen wheels are usually more colorful. So I can come down here, I'll pick the novice wheel, click on OK, and then go into chart forms, make my selections for what planets I want to see, we'll turn on Chiron, whether I want to see aspects drawn in the middle of the wheel, what aspect set. If I have created an aspect set of my own, it'll be here at the bottom of the list. Then finally, if I want to copy this default that I've just created, the first thing I recommend to do is to test it out. So we'll go to the classic side, we'll do a new chart, click on OK, make sure it is the novice wheel, and it is. We'll open it up so I can see the entire chart form, make sure that I see the aspect set that I want in the middle, and I have all the other bits and pieces that I want. I'm creating it with the correct house system. I got the right time system, etc. If everything is correct, go back to Options, WinStar Options, go to Chart Forms. Now I'm going to click on Copy To. And what I'm going to do is every box that I mark off is going to be replaced with the same thing that I have for the natal chart. And what I'm doing here is I'm marking off everything that is going to give me a single wheel. Okay? So everything for charts, progressed, returns, synastry. I'm not going to mark off the synastry grid, and I'm not going to mark off any of these other charts here, because These are not single wheels, these are bi, tri wheels, etc. And these ones over here are specialized, and most of the time you want to leave these exactly the way that they are. Click on OK. Click on OK again. Then close and reopen the program, and to make sure that it's copied your changes across all of the icons, and then you're done. You can also, if there's an individual one, for instance, I don't like the bi wheel that I'm getting, right click. I can go into the wheel settings again. It's the same window you had before. If it's the outer ring on the bi wheel, I click on number 2, make my changes, and click on OK. For this case, it's an unequal bi wheel, but I wanted an unequal bi wheel in color. I'm currently in the screen wheels window, in the screen wheels list. I can change it to a color bi wheel. Click on OK. Then I can go ahead and do a bi wheel, and there it is in color. If I don't like these colors, I can go back to the Colors tab in WinStar Options and change those colors to be something different. This concludes part 1 of the Options program for WinStar. In part 2, I'm specifically going to be covering how to create and modify aspect sets. Thank you for watching.